morning to all of you. In the previous session, we were discussing about economics as a potential area for UPSC Prelims 2020, and we already covered the crucial aspects of discussion with regard to economics. And what is left is the peripheral aspect of economics also, which is definitely a matter of concern, especially from the prelims point of view as well as from the mains point of view. As we stated previously, once you have a basic understanding of economics, or rather once you are familiar with how you should read and deal with economics as an area, what is left is certainly the associate parts of economics, or precisely speaking, how you need to deal with economics for a mains area too, along with that of a prelims area. We know very well that when we take a mains GS papers, in paper 1 there is substantially no economics. In paper 2 there is some amount of economics coming, especially in the form of government programs, policies, etc., but only some amount. When it comes to paper 3, again mains, economics becomes very important area. Naturally, when paper 3 is taken, economic development of the country, economic tools or parameters, probably the major programs, policies, etc. of the government, which is predominantly economic in character. And lastly but not leastly, an important area also comes, that is the current economic position of the country and the aspects of economic importance, probably. Actually, when you read this area, you can understand one thing very clearly, that your prelims knowledge is sufficient. I repeat, your prelims knowledge is sufficient to understand economics from a mains point of view, and you don't require any extra reading unless your analytical skills should be sharpened. Your analytical skills should be honed in such a manner that a proper understanding of the economic development of the country has to be made. How can this be possible? This is a simple question which I am trying to answer today. Many candidates, especially those coming from science background, those who haven't studied economics at all at their collegiate level or even in their higher secondary level, they find it extremely difficult to read, understand and write economics as an answer. There is an easy strategy for doing this, basically, that once you cover, as I stated in my previous session where we discussed about prelims, once you cover conventional economic areas, like basic economic areas that deals with economy, GDP, GNP, NNP, inflation and other similar areas, you have an understanding of basically what is economics and what constitute the major areas or aspects of discussion in economics. A candidate should do here is that he need to bring his understanding into paper. That means you need to actually write down your understanding in such a manner that you can recap it, you can recapitulate it at any point of time whenever it is demanded by the situation. This is comparatively an easy strategy, because if a candidate adopts this strategy predominantly, he can be very well sure that whenever the mains examination comes, after the completion of the prelims, you know very well that you will clear your prelims. You can start your mains preparation. You can read these basic areas which you already wrote down, along with two important areas. One is government policies and programs, that's the first thing. And the second thing is that how the government is assessing through economic survey, how the government is assessing the economic growth of the country and the trajectory of economic growth, especially in the future. We know very well that this has a contemporary focus, and what the candidate has to do is that the candidate should read economic news items precisely. There are some newspapers which can be prescribed. The Business Standard is a very good newspaper, but many candidates find it extremely difficult to read Business Standard along with Hindu. Easy strategy is very simple. You need to read the economics page of Hindu thoroughly, because the authors who write in the economics page, like Ashutosh Mukherjee, Ashish Nehra, they are all popular economic writers, and naturally, if you can follow these authors and whatever approach they are following towards the economy, and if you bring the same approach to your answer paper, leaving aside the politics involved in that, your mains answer is complete. This is an easy strategy which we candidates used to adopt during our period of time. We used to read Hindu and Business Standard along with, especially good authors like Sandeep Mukherjee and all, and we may try to understand what is their perspective precisely. Even people like Amartya Sen, PK Sen and many other authors, we will get to know what is their economic perspective, and we try to bring that economic perspective minus politics to our answer. I repeat, we may try to bring that economic perspective minus politics to our answer, and we may also bring in elements highlighted by the government of India in its publications, especially in the India yearbook, which is published annually, plus the economic survey. Once this much is done, your prelims come mains preparation for economics is almost done. Is almost complete, and you have strategized your preparation in such a manner that it is energized, it is activated, it is stimulated, and it is strengthened like anything, that you can score full marks in economics even without basic training in economics at the collegiate level. This is an easy strategy which you can follow. I repeat the strategy right from the beginning, that is from our previous session itself. Familiarize yourself with basic economic concepts, number one. Then read the Ministry of Finance and those things related to the Ministry of Finance, policy, program, functioning, administrative apparatus, publications, and major steps, major areas of interest, and major aspects published by the Ministry of Finance. Especially now everything is available in the website of the Government of India. And then once Ministry of Finance is over, you need to read the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, very carefully. Everything related to RBI, especially the policy, the monetary policy decisions that is taken by RBI. And once this part is over, you can directly come, as I stated before, to the major economic organizations of the world, which even includes oil producing organizations and many other like OPEC and all. And of course, the major economic institutions of the world precisely, like the WTO, the IMF, the United Nations economic organs or economic organs of the UN, and prominently other similar economic organizations also. Once this task is completed, because all these organizations deals with like the World Bank, once this task is completed, you can immediately step in to policy based analysis written by different authors in the Hindu newspaper, especially in the economics page of Hindu. That economics page is very important. The newspapers like Business Standard, Business Line, etc., that give an analysis of how the economy is working. If those newspapers are available, or at least you can go for their online versions. Once this part is over, your mains answer can be written in the light of opinion given, opinion provided by experts in this area. Even if you don't know that much basic economics, these opinions can be directly written into your answer, but please avoid the politics involved in that opinion. If the opinion is political, minus politics should be our strategy. Leave aside that political aspect of that opinion and take in the pure economic aspect of that opinion, and that is sufficient for a mains answer. And once that is properly done, imagine, I'll give you an example. If the candidate is supposed to analyze demonetization as a financial policy taken by the government of India, precisely the Ministry of Finance, you need to actually leave the political aspect involved in demonetization. It's not a question for a UPSC candidate. You need to deal with the economic aspect. You can get standard articles written in the Hindu itself on demonetization by different prominent authors. You can take their points and make it yours. You can convert those points into yours and you can prepare an answer. So identify economics topics. This is very important. Identify economics topics from time to time. That may be demonetization, that may be GST, that may be the taxing regime, that may be the tax reforms, that may be anything else, or that may be the steps initiated by the government of India for containing inflation, whatever. Go through these economic policies, the opinion of experts on these policies in a balanced manner, minus politics makes your answer. So this is your approach with regard to economics, and once this approach is perfect, once this approach is done, almost entire economic area, both comprehensively for prelims and mains, is complete. This should be the general approach of a candidate, X or Y, whoever is preparing for UPSC prelims come mains. And once you are done with economics, you need to immediately read a connected area of economics, and that is nothing other than international organization, not only economic organizations, but other organizations also, which does have an economic character. I'll explain that part better. You dealt with WTO, IMF, World Bank, etc., which are all economic organizations. I agree. Even OECD or OPEC, whatever it is, they are all having economic basis. But there are non-economic organizations also, but they play an important role in influencing the economic policy of any country. Say, for example, if you take South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, that is purely a non-economic organization, but it has an economic policy. Okay, precisely speaking, if you deal with G20, if you deal with G80, the most powerful nations of the world, supposed to be, G20, of which India is also a part, G8 plus 12. That brings India also one of the leading developing nations of the world, G20. Then again, if you take ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which includes all those Southeast Asian nations, which are on the southeastern side of India, including nations like Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines, etc. Whatever. So this makes your preparation complete, that you read with those regional groupings also, which has, of course, groupings like the European Union, which is becoming less important these days, the ECOSOC and other similar, maybe the Atlantic Charter and similar other organizations, etc. So that your preparation for economics is almost complete. That includes almost every comprehensive area in a full-fledged manner, almost in 100%. And now you are ready for your mains. And whenever you, moving to my last part of today's session, whenever you prepare for economics, please don't read and leave that area. That is a stupid aspect. You need to write down the major points, especially those things related to the policies and programs of government. Not only that, even conventional economics, you can write the major points. This is very important because once you are towards the winding up days of your mains preparation, that points, instead of depending on any textbook, there are 2-3 good textbooks that can be prescribed. NCERT, definitely economic development itself is done by NCERT. Indian economy is a 12th standard textbook that can be referred. Ramesh Singh is definitely a good author. Ramesh Singh writes about Indian economy minus statistics. Statistics is not very much reliable in Ramesh Singh, but the rest is okay, rest is fine. Any author, whoever whom you read, you need to write down points, and those points can help you immediately in your days of your running up, in your run-up days towards your mains preparation. So this is my comprehensive strategy for both prelims and for mains. Wishing you all the best for your economics preparation with regard to UPSC.